We are standing right on the edge of what could be the biggest technological revolution since the internet itself. And no, this isn't just about a bunch of buzzwords like Layer 1 blockchains, AI, or DeFi. We are talking about the actual fundamental building blocks of a brand new era for finance and technology. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what that means.
So let's just start with a really big question. What if the systems we all rely on every single day, the internet, our banks, our entire financial world, what if they were being completely reimagined? Like rebuilt from the ground up to be more open, more transparent, and accessible to literally everyone on the planet? Well, believe it or not, that is exactly what's happening right now.
Okay, to really get a handle on this massive shift, we're going to break it down into 4 key parts. We'll start with the very foundation of this new internet. Then we'll dive into how finance is being totally reimagined. After that, we'll see how the digital and the real worlds are finally connecting. And then we'll look at the next frontier, where all of these incredible technologies start to come together.
So first up, the foundation. To understand any of this new world, you absolutely have to start with the bedrock it's all built on: Layer 1 blockchains.
The best way to think about a Layer 1 blockchain is to just picture an operating system for a computer, like Windows or Mac OS. It's that fundamental layer that everything else runs on top of. All the apps, the tokens, the smart contracts, the entire ecosystem.
So, what makes this such a game changer? Well, unlike the internet we use today, these Layer 1s are fundamentally different. They host apps that no single company controls, and they're open to anyone, anywhere in the world. You can send value across the globe in seconds without ever touching a bank, and they are incredibly resistant to being shut down or censored. In a way, each one is kind of becoming its own digital nation, with its own users, its own economy, and its own set of rules.
And this whole space is just evolving at lightning speed. It's literally a race to create the best operating system. You've got new blockchains like Sui, for example, which is designed for something called parallel processing, making it ridiculously fast. Then you have others, like Sai, that are fine-tuned specifically for high-speed trading. The competition here is absolutely fierce, and it's pushing the boundaries of what's possible with speed, security, and efficiency.
Okay, so we've got our new operating systems. Now let's move up the stack and look at the next layer, the applications built on top of them that are completely turning the world of finance on its head.
These are called dApps, or decentralized applications. Now, they might look and feel just like the apps you use every day, but there's one critical difference. There's no central server and no single company in control. Think of things like decentralized exchanges, like Uniswap, or NFT marketplaces. They're all powered by smart contracts just running on the blockchain.
And this leads us to a major battle brewing in the world of finance: centralized versus decentralized exchanges. So centralized exchanges, or CXs, they're pretty easy to use, but there's a huge catch. You don't actually hold your own assets. You've probably heard the saying, not your keys, not your crypto. Well, that's what it's about. Decentralized exchanges, or DEXs, are the alternative. With them, you have full ownership, they're totally borderless, and they don't require you to hand over all your personal information.
This really drives the point home. When you use a DEX, you're interacting directly from your own secure wallet. You literally become your own bank. You hold the keys, you control the funds, and nobody can freeze or take your assets. This is a fundamental, massive shift towards financial freedom.
And this whole ecosystem has a name: DeFi, which stands for Decentralized Finance. And it's not just about trading. It is an entire parallel financial system being built from the ground up. You can lend, you can borrow, earn yield, use stablecoins, and it's all automated, transparent, and running 24/7. And why does this matter? Well, it has the potential to offer financial services to billions of people who don't have access to traditional banks, making global finance way more inclusive and efficient.
All right, so we've got a new internet and a new financial system. But for it to be truly useful, this new digital world needs a secure way to connect with our real physical world. And that's where oracles and, increasingly, major institutions come into the picture.
Just think about it for a second. Blockchains are incredible at keeping track of their own internal truth, but they're kind of like isolated bubbles. They can't, on their own, access outside information like, say, the price of a stock, or the weather in Tokyo, or the final score of a football game. So, how do they get that data reliably?
Well, the answer is oracles. A project like Chainlink is a perfect example. It acts as a secure data bridge. So a smart contract on the blockchain will request some real-world data. The Oracle network then goes out, securely grabs and verifies that info from a whole bunch of different sources, and then delivers it back on-chain. This is the absolutely crucial link that makes things like DeFi and other dApps even possible. And because this infrastructure is getting so robust, the biggest names in traditional finance, they're not just watching anymore, they're getting in the game. You've got BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, creating blockchain funds. Even a conservative giant like Vanguard is exploring the technology. And you have companies like Ondo Finance that are tokenizing real-world assets, bringing things like US Treasuries right onto the blockchain.
So the crucial takeaway here is this. The institutions aren't fighting blockchain anymore. They're adopting it. And that is a massive, massive signal that this technology is maturing and is absolutely here to stay for the long haul.
And that brings us to our final section. And let me tell you, this is where it gets really, really exciting. The next frontier. See, these technologies don't just exist in isolation. Their true power is unleashed when they start to converge.
It all kicks off with the explosive growth of AI, with its incredible mind-bending power to automate, predict, and optimize just about anything.
Now, combine that raw power with the verifiable trust and transparency of the blockchain. Think about it. AI can make these brilliant decisions, but how do we prove its data was accurate or that it did what we expected it to do? Blockchain provides that unbreakable layer of truth.
And if we look even further down the road, this powerful combination could one day be supercharged by the breakthrough speed of quantum computing, which would enable calculations and discoveries that are just simply impossible today.
And look, this convergence isn't just some far-off theory. It is already happening. Take a project like Render. It's a decentralized network where anyone with a powerful graphics card, a GPU, can rent out their spare computing power to AI models or digital animation studios. It's basically a global, decentralized supercomputer for the AI revolution, and it's all built on the blockchain.
This is where we're heading. An era where AI, blockchain, and other incredible technologies all merge together, powered by verifiable trust, global access, and unbelievable speed. What you're seeing right now is the groundwork being laid for the next 20 years of innovation.
And that really brings us to our final and maybe the most important message today. The source material we looked at puts it perfectly. Those who don't understand it will be left out of the biggest technological revolution since the internet.
This isn't optional anymore. It's really happening. The convergence is underway and global adoption has already begun. So honestly, the best thing you can do right now is just to start learning and start exploring this new frontier for yourself.